NYC Repo finally caught this one like it. They've had this hidden in their yard for months. Bye-bye.
Alright, yo, we're at the auction. I'm going to show you how bad repos are getting and how new these vehicles are that are getting repossessed by the banks and being sold at the auction. Look at this. All these are repos, all brand new cars. You got Chargers, Scat Packs, Mercedes, Genesis, Range Rovers, Range Rover, trucks, Teslas. Man, they should have repoed this. This ain't no Scat Pack. Look at that. The Savini's wheel with the, it's a regular Charger, man. And guys, these aren't, 2010, 2012. These are 2019, 2020s and up that are getting repoed. People are barely had these cars for a year, maybe less, maybe more, and the banks are picking them up and selling them at the auctions for a fraction of what they bought it for. I'll show you how cooked the car market is with all these high interest loans, people bailing out of their auto loans because they can't even afford it. Here we have a 2019 Range Rover. Oh, this is beautiful. I'm sure whoever bought this probably paid an arm and a leg, and it's gonna go for a fraction of the cost of the auction. And during COVID and even till today, people are getting approved for these crazy loans on these cars, paying $1,200, $1,500 a month. Insurance is $300, $400, maybe $500 a month for them. So they're paying more than half their income on just an automobile. That doesn't include anything else, any maintenance or anything. It's crazy. Car market is getting stagnant. Inventory is going up. And the reason is people just don't know how to educate themselves, budget correctly. And dealers are taking advantage of that and marking up these cars at such an alarming rate, and banks are approving these loans. We're probably going to start seeing the cars that Steve-O got me rolling sold to those people start popping up at the auction soon. But seriously, if you don't want to end up trying to pay the difference on a vehicle that you've bought at such a high price with a high interest rate, take your time to educate yourself and make sure you budget correctly. And as far as the car market goes, we're in trouble because all of these are repos.
In Houston, they're having this problem where people are stealing cars. They're going to a chop shop and they're completely disassembling the car, setting all the parts on a shelf, abandoning the car so that it gets towed by the police department. The police department then sends it to an auction, sells it in the auction for $3,000. The same guy that stole it buys it from the auction, takes it back to his chop shop, and then reassembles the car. But because it went through the auction, it now has a clean title. It's no longer a stolen vehicle. So if you see a vehicle that shows it has stolen on the title, investigate those things, or just look. If there's bolts under the hood that look like they've been turned, if the door jamb nuts look like they've been removed and put back on, maybe it's one of those stolen vehicles. But they're cracking down on it. So those guys doing it, they're going to be looking at some serious time. So buyer beware. If you see something that looks fishy, maybe it happened in that car.
Well, they repossessed my Jeep this morning. You could see where the brown marks were, where it was sat. Yeah, so this is a firm reality check that I'm still going through it, but at the end of the day, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm breathing, I have my health. It's a bittersweet moment. I don't really have words right now besides it's a new chapter. And it's up to me to create this new chapter of my life. It's time that we stop looking back and we start pushing forward. This is a bit, like I said, a bittersweet day. I don't really know how to feel about it. But yeah, now I have no vehicle. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Somebody out there always has it.
Our family vehicle is likely about to get repossessed. My 27th birthday is in 3 days, and I feel like a failure. I'm a stay-at-home mom to 2 beautiful children. I've been struggling really hard as to whether or not I was going to put this video out onto the internet, because quite frankly, it's embarrassing. I have a lot of people that I know from back home and people that I know where I live now that watch some of these videos, whether they follow me and watch, or whether they look me up and are lurking. And people love to see you fail. But on TikTok, people also really love to see you succeed. I've kind of come to terms with the fact that the car's going to get repossessed because, quite frankly, I'm not going to be able to come up with the money in time. But I figure I'm going to shoot my shot either way. I only have like 1,590 followers, and I did get into the TikTok shop affiliate program prior to you only being able to post 5 videos a week if you got into the pilot program. And I'm incredibly grateful that I have that avenue for potential income. But as we know, none of it is set in stone. And whether or not I make enough money to get the car paid up so that we can keep it, I only owe $6,000 on it. We still have debt that we have to pay off in other forms too. Anyways, if you've made it this far, if you wouldn't mind to engage from the bottom up, give me a follow, and maybe leave some encouragement if you've been in a situation like this, or if you are in a situation like this, because the world is crazy right now and the economy sucks, and I know that everybody's struggling, but hopefully we can all get a piece of the pie of TikTok. So, love you guys. So today's shoppable product is going to be these little mini Jesuses that says Jesus loves you. You get a pack of 25 and they're only $7.59 right now with free shipping. Talking to people brings my daughter so much joy, and so I bought these little Jesuses for her. That way she can give them to people when she feels led to tell them that Jesus loves them.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Anthony, and it's always amazing having you here. So what I usually say, ensure that you comment so we can engage in dialogue, and probably we can help each other out through engaging in dialogue, sharing our problems. So tell us in the comment section, have you ever had your car repossessed? And if you had, there is nothing embarrassing about struggling. I know someone who was 27, and his wife was 26. And they were trying to raise their 2 kids on $9 an hour. Vehicle repossession, food stamps, the whole 9 yards, and they thought life would always be that way. Now he's 41 with 4 kids and a 6-figure income, and finally feels somewhat comfortable. Just keep hustling, keep your head up and never stop trying.
Just watched a video of this lady talking about how this man said he turned in his car voluntarily because he could not keep up with his $1,100 car note. He was just over the payments. He couldn't do it. It was just getting to be too much. And I just got a question. Isn't voluntary repossession just as bad as you missing a couple of payments and they coming and picking it up themselves? I think that's why financing anything is just that dangerous. And the lady in the video was basically saying, like, why are we continuing to go and get things that we, one, cannot afford, and that we, two, a lot of times don't need? I wouldn't say all the time, because I do feel like it gets to a point to where it is very hard to maneuver without them. I did not say it's impossible to move without them, but it is very, if you have ever been without a car, or if you have ever had a car and then didn't have a car, baby, I'm talking about, I done seen times where my cash car put me down and it had to sit in a shop, or it had to be worked on, and I had to Uber or get dropped off to and from work over the course of 3-4 days. And let me tell you something, the most difficult days of my life.
Y'all, me and my friend just stopped being friends because this bitch just got her car repossessed, and somehow, some way, this shit is my fault. Okay, let me give y'all a little bit of backstory. So, if y'all follow me, y'all know that I do a lot of shit with, like, consumer law. Well, I really don't do too much of it anymore, but I used to do a lot of stuff with consumer law. And basically, I know ways that car dealerships do fraud, and it's a lot of ins and outs to this shit. But basically, if you put a down payment on your car, even if you didn't put a down payment on your car, but for sure, if you put a down payment on your car, I know how to get the down payment. I know how to get your car contract canceled where you don't got to pay no payments, get the title to your car, all that stuff, right? And so since like June, she been asking me about it, but she ain't been asking me about it. Like, she just be like, what's up with that stuff you be doing that I be seeing you talking about? I explained it to her briefly. We'll go to the next topic. It ain't never no open-ended, like, I want you to do this for me, or I want you to teach me this. It's just a little bit like, oh, I seen you talk about this on TikTok. What's that about? I tell her, then she'll go about her business. Then a couple days later, maybe a week later, she'll come back, ask me another question, then go about her business, right? So then she started telling me how she got like a she got a Range Rover or whatever. So her car payments is like $850 a month or whatever. So she started telling me like, bro, I'm upside down in these car payments. My car payments is like $850. My insurance is like $750. Like, this too much. So I'm like, damn, what you gonna do? She was like, I was hoping I could get you to do that one shit. So I'm telling her like, to do that for you, I literally charge like $1,500. I already know what you're working with as your friend. So I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not about to do it for you because I charge people. And like, even if I like, okay, I feel like it's some stuff you could discount your friends on, but the amount of work that takes, I'm not willing to discount you. But what I am willing to do is I'm doing a class on it. So since I'm doing a class on it, I'll give you a ticket to the class for free. Here go the Zoom link, here go all of that. The bitch like, I'm not about to sit there and do all of that. So you think I'm about to sit there and do all of that for crumbs? No, I'm not about to sit there and do all of that either. So she like, okay, well, I don't want to get on a Zoom with a whole bunch of people, so can you just teach me one-on-one? Literally last fucking Sunday, I take out my whole Sunday. I teach this lady everything from top to bottom, everything she needs to know of how to do the shit from top to bottom. I'm not gonna do it for you, but I'm gonna teach you from top to bottom. If you get stuck, I will help you. That shit took like 8 hours because she a little bit slow. Cool. She said she gonna start the process. It was a Sunday. She said she was gonna start it on Monday. Cool. I never asked her about it. She never bring it up. I'm assuming all is well. Last night she called me at 4 o'clock in the morning. Mind you, if you know me, you know. I go to bed early. I wake up early. Why are you calling me at 4 a.m.? Bitch, it's not Saturday. It's not. Bitch, what do you want? Tow truck man outside her house. So now she like, are you gonna help me get my car back? Are you gonna help me get my car back? I said, what are you talking about? I'm saying you help everybody else. Are you gonna help me? I said, okay, so did you start the process like I told you to? She said, no, I already told you I wasn't doing all of that. Okay, so what would you like for me to do right now at 4 o'clock in the morning while my eyes are literally only half open and half closed? I'm just saying, as a real friend, I told you I'm not about to be doing all of that. You could have just did it for me and did it. I hung up on that bitch, went back to sleep. When I woke back up, I was blocked on everything. So yeah, that's how my day is going. Before you let that car company come and repossess your car, watch this video. Now, one of the things that I help people do for a living is help them get their title for their car without paying the car off and get the down payment back that they paid on a finance car. So if you want to know more about that, you're going to have to dig deep. But what we're talking about right now is that repossession, when you defaulted on payments for a couple months. You know, you ducking and dodging them peoples because they about to come snap. What I want everybody to know is the moment that your credit is running that system, that is your car. You pay for that car as a person with your notes issued to you by the United States government. But that's a whole nother video with a whole nother topic that I kind of already touched on last year. What I do want y'all to know is when y'all sign those contracts, when you finance the car, this is how you know that the car is already paid for, because in the contract, you actually have to give them permission to be able to repossess your car. In the contract that a lot of y'all don't read, it literally says security interest, right? And then it says, you are giving us security interest in this vehicle, blah, 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 blah. Then it might tell you, like, if you default on payments, we gonna come take it. If you default on one payment, you might have to pay the whole thing. Or it might tell you, like, if you default on one payment, you have the right to come get the car if you pay the rest of the payments off. You're giving them permission to do that. If you did not own the car, if they really truly own the car, that wouldn't even be in there. That would already be self-explanatory. But since you already own the car full out without having to pay them, you know, that's why they got to put that statement in there to make you think it's a mind fuck. I ain't gonna get too deep into that though, because that's a whole nother video. But basically, when you give them security interest in your vehicle that you already technically own, you're granting them permission to do those things if you default on payments. So what you gotta do if you don't want to come and get repossessed, especially if you're trying to rescind your contract, which is, like I said, that's what I do for a living, because it's all. Hey, you need to revoke their power of attorney. Now, when it comes to that vehicle, they are able to act on your behalf. They're able to come and take the car. They're kind of partial owner of the car until you pay it off, or really you paying it twice. So by giving them that security interest, you're really giving them power, a limited power of attorney over that asset to be able to do whatever really the freak they want to do with it. Now, when you revoke your power of attorney on that vehicle legally, Not telling you to default on your payments, but if you do default on your payments, they're not supposed to be able to come and take your car. And even repossessing somebody's car, even if you don't do that, is in the way that you do it could also be illegal as well. But like I said, another place, another time, another day. However, I do offer this as a service. So if you need any help, any assistance, my Instagram is, there. Yeah.
Have you guys heard about the dealership in Florida that just repoed a car by carjacking it? They go by Guru Auto Sales, and just recently they had a Haitian guy come in to buy a 2020 Honda Accord. And apparently everything went smoothly. I mean, he signed off all the documents, he got his auto pay set up, and he just left with his 2020 Honda Accord. Although he claims he also did not leave with a purchase agreement, even though he signed all the paperwork. So that's a little shady. And everything was all fine and dandy up until the very first payment was due, because the guy actually missed his first payment. He thought he had auto pay set up, so he didn't have to worry about it. Regardless, not the biggest issue in the world. He resolved the problem by making his payments and also paying a late fee. But this is where we get into the part where the dealership actually steps in to try to get the car back using any means necessary. And at this point, I think I have to mention that, yeah, the guy did miss his first payment, but the bank actually told the dealership that no, they didn't have to go out and repossess the car. It wasn't at that point yet, but they did not listen. So a couple days after making his payment, the Haitian guy is just driving through traffic as normal until he notices a black BMW following him. He gets to a point where they both get to a stop, and the person driving the BMW hops out and then flashes a pew-pew at the Haitian dude to send a message. He gets the message, hops out of the car, and lets the person have it because he doesn't want to lose his life. That person's name is Eric Haddad, and surprise, surprise, he works at Guru Auto Sales. Now, as you can imagine, what Eric did was very, very illegal, and he actually ended up getting some time for this. And I looked him up. Looks like Guru Auto Sales is permanently closed.
Yup, that car literally sold for 500 beans. And no, dealerships do not want you seeing this side of the car business. Today I'm at a dealers only auction, and this is where dealerships buy cars for cheap and sell them to you or scam you. No, the general public is not allowed here. You can't get in, so don't ask. You have to have a dealer's license to get in the auction and bid. And today, well, one of the cars I grabbed was this 2018 Honda Civic with just about 100,000 miles. Clean Carfax, no accidents. This car is pristine. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, I picked this up for $10,000 all in with fees. And if you know, you know, this is a $15,000, $16,000 car all day long. And the even crazier thing was how much money I was able to help save the client that bought this car. With my car buying service, I literally do all the research for you. Build a list based on exactly what you're looking for. Then my mechanic goes out in person to inspect the car, make sure you actually want to bid. Then, well, the easy part, we buy the car and ship it to your front door. No haggling over price, no pressure to buy a specific car, and no extra scammy fees. The price you see is the price you pay. So if you're tired of having your time wasted going dealership to dealership and you want me to help find a car directly from the dealers only auction, comment deals and let's save you some money.
Hello everyone, thank you for reaching the end of this video, and it's always amazing having you here, my subscribers, and commenting, subscribing, and let's ensure that we always engage in dialogue here on the comment section so that we can help each other out, because the algorithm brought you here for some reason. So I know people who have had 2 cars repossessed at once and they became unemployed. Trust me, life goes on. You will find a way. New car payments are just ridiculous. That's why my neighbor still has his 207 Lexus IS 250 with 211,000 miles and a 202 GT with 101,000 miles. He'd rather pay for repairs and maintenance because even older cars are easier to work on too. My mom has been paying $680 a month for 7 years, a total of 56 grand, and they're telling her that she still owes 16 grand. I looked into her account and she had fell behind on her payments, which caused more interest to pile up. You know, sometimes we have to educate ourselves. If you lose a job, you can't afford the car payment and insurance, you know. And voluntarily selling your car is better than repo. They will sell your car and you owe difference if sold for less than you owe. Or maybe have rented it out on Turo or sell it to Carmax, depending on how ups and down you are. You can even find a newer car with a lot of rebates to eat up the negative equity in your current loan. There is more than one way to skin a cat. Anyway, sum it up, if everyone made a payment on their car how would guys who do repo get their jobs? So the biggest issue, I believe, is insurance. No matter how good your driving record, they always increase the rates. And to everyone watching, would you buy a repo car? If the previous owner couldn't afford the car, what about the maintenance that has to be done? Tell us your thoughts. So what I usually say, stay alert, stay focused, don't fall for the government psyop. And until the next video, thank you for your attention to this matter.